big election issues. Continue our election coverage with political analyst Stephen Lawson. Stephen, not much time, but I wanted to go down ballot. Where do you want to start? LG, AG, Supreme Court, what do you have?
Yeah, I think first in the lieutenant governor's race, these are both going to runoffs. And obviously for your listeners to understand, the lieutenant governor is the president of the Georgia Senate. So a very powerful position. You have the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the speaker. Those are really the three leaders of state government. So a very important position. On the Democrat side, you have Josh McLaurin and Abila Parks, both right around 40%. They are headed to a runoff. And
That was really close. Really close race, yeah.
And we talked about that, Mark. That is probably going to be one of the only races that pulls Democrats back out to vote. So going to be really interesting to watch there. On the Republican side, we have John F. Kennedy and State Senator Greg Dolezal, both state senators who are advancing to a runoff. Greg Dolezal from Forsyth County, northern suburb, John F. Kennedy from middle Georgia. That's going to be a really interesting dynamic as well. On the attorney general front, on the Democrat side, two total blowout wins. You have Tanya Miller advancing with 85% of the vote in the AG's race on the D side, and then a huge win for Brian Strickland on the Republican side. Big win for Brian and his family, Lindsay. They're great people, and they're going to be advancing. So that's going to be a one-on-one.
Just looking at the vote totals, just to see how Democratic turnout was yesterday, Tanya Miller got 880,000 votes. Brian Strickland, 608,000 votes. Like, a lot of Democrats turned out for this primary that I don't think will be there for the runoff, which is probably going to impact the totals. But when it comes to the general election, the LG, AG favoring Republicans statewide?
Yeah, slightly favoring Republicans statewide. I think both of these Republican candidates, whether it's John F. Kennedy or Greg Dolezal and then Brian Strickland, will probably have a pretty good chance to emerge. But you never know what the dynamics of the race bring out. Obviously, Tanya Miller, African-American woman, if we see a strong push from African-American women in the general election in November, that could push her over.
We got 30 seconds. Split ballots must have been the situation with the Supreme Court. Bethel beats Rankin by only 2%, but Warren, 18-point win over Jen Jordan. That's interesting.
Yeah, you saw all of this national money coming in on these Democrat challengers to try to flip these Supreme Court races. It didn't work. I think it sends a strong message that voters in the state like their justices. They don't want judicial activism on the court, and this is a big, big win, I think, for the rule of law and for these incumbents.
Yeah, I'm just surprised at the voting margins there. Some people voted, it was split ticket. Is the only way to explain it. Dentons.com for all things Stephen Lawson. You're free to take a nap, my friend. You better rest up.
I'm there.
Yeah, we got runoffs to talk about in the next couple of weeks. Great stuff, as always, political analyst Stephen Lawson.